Hello.
Hi, Adam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello.
Mm.
Hello.
Highlander.
Share the notes today.
So, Adam, was it so that you wanted to talk some about the Flux integration you've been working on as well today, or?
Yeah, I still don't have much to report on. I'm working on a receiver that will be able to start reconciling once it verifies the CD event on the webhook URL.
Okay. So maybe we should wait with a demo or more in-depth discussion until a later time.
Yeah, I might have a demo at some point. Yeah.
That's good.
And also we had the plan of integrating Flux with the existing CD Events POC as well. So the place where we had Spinnaker, Tecton, Captain, and now the visualization is added latest. And we also planning to include Flux in that SIG Events POC. So once Adam has the working piece.
Okay. I'm just wondering, does that make the proof of concept unnecessarily complex? Would it make sense to instead like split it up in multiple different proof of concepts, or what do you think about that, Alander? I think it might be easier to set it up, of course, if it's just one for all, but yeah, depends on what you're looking for, I guess. How have you been thinking about that?
So at this point, like we are only thinking the more tools will involve in this space, the CACD ecospace, like each one will have CD events, like communication through CD events is what we are thinking right now. But it's only a proof that we can show on integrating with the existing proof of concept to show to someone else.
Of course, yeah.
Really, it's working. Rather, like we should have like any way to talk to another component, so we'll have at least 2 or 3 other components to make that to work. So I think that's the good platform that initially what we had with Andrea and team, the SIG Events POC, and we are trying to extend with Spinnaker visualization and now Flux. I don't know, like the code base will be more like complex, or more like it'll be the more core it'll be in the SIG Events POC. But that we are actually separating out with different branches for I feel like, yeah, so I think we can branch out different things.
Okay.
I mean, different branches.
That's great. Just wanted to share this link. It's just a project where I've been trying to track things that we do with different tools. So maybe if you have any issue on CD Event side or elsewhere, we could link into here so we can have like a Flux tab and see what's going on there. It would be great.
Yeah, I guess there is some kind of ticket on the Flux side, right, Adam? Or is it something that you've done isolated outside the Flux community, or? Is there some tickets for the Flux work you're doing, Adam?
Sorry.
Is there some tickets somewhere for the Flux work you're doing? Is it something we could tie into
No,
a
I
ticket?
don't think. I think there is on the CTEL e-team space or e-team project, but that's about it. I haven't posted this publicly or anything.
Because I think we've seen some Flux mentioned somewhere, isn't it? In some, or maybe it's here.
Okay, I've never actually looked into that myself.
Maybe
Somebody
there's.
mentioned it in 2022 then.
What about that pull request 35 down there? Is that about Flux or is it about? No, it's something else maybe.
Yeah, I remember Brett did something with Flux, but if I remember correctly, I think Flux supports some kind of templating mechanism to send events. So I think that's what Brett used to do some kind of integration there. It was not something using any of the SDKs on our site. I don't know. Maybe it makes sense to have a chat with Brad in any case to see if there is some of the work that Brad has done already as something that you could benefit from, Adam.
Yeah, I can post a ticket or something if you want, or an issue.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we
Right.
can start with that.
There is actually an old ticket, sorry. Let me find it. I paste it in the chat here. On the Flux notifiers side, it seems. An old ticket that Brad created over a year ago.
Okay. So did you? Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
an issue which we could eventually just. I'm not sure if we can add issues from other organizations into our project. Maybe we couldn't.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think it's possible to add something from other organizations, right?
Sure, I can check that. I don't think so, but we could, in the worst case, we could. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, there's that.
There you
Let's
go.
change the project to Flux instead. You can duplicate it. If you duplicate it there, I guess you can download.
I was wondering, did you have any conversation with the Flux community about this work?
I haven't really asked for a bit of help on their Slack for one thing, but I didn't end up going in that direction. So that's about the most interaction I've had with the Flux community so far.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I had at least one contact in the Flux community. So we discussed in the past possible collaboration on this. So if you need some help or some support, let me know. I can.
Sure, will do.
Thank you, Tilly. Okay, well, great to see this happening. So thanks for that. And good. Redesign yourself in if you would like to. Yeah, I guess the main thing I had on the agenda for today was the schedule of meetings. But I guess if you guys have any other topic that we'd like to discuss first or any updates, maybe we can do that first and then get to the meeting schedule.
I can just say that I looked very briefly into Brad's pull request on connecting events or linking events. Haven't reviewed it to any greater depth so far, but I have some comments initially on it. But I would urge anyone to also look into it and give your thoughts on it.
Yeah, sure.
Since I think it's a very critical initiative to get done as the next thing. one thing to mention there is that Brad has a section about comparing, including the event data, or sorry, the link data into the event itself, or to keep it as the next separate event data or separate data object. And that the discussion, I think, could be elaborated a bit, and it would be good to have more views into that. In what cases it's good to have it included in the event, and when it's good to have it not in the event as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we end up with a solution where we have 2 ways to do it. I don't know. But it's a bit unfortunate to have multiple ways to describe the same thing. So I would hope we don't need to end up there, but who knows?
Yeah, one concern that I have is with the whole linking events API is that well, with having like a separate service, is that it might be I think it brings the bar to implementation higher because now if you want to use CD events, you need to have like this extra service where all the events links are stored, where everyone is calling into. And I think if that's a critical part of the solution built around CD events, it's fine, you're going to have it. I just want to make sure that it's not like a mandatory or like blocking or making the implementation harder for people that are exploring CD events or using it for use cases where the links would not be so critical for them. But maybe it doesn't have to be like either the service or in the event themselves. Maybe you could have one option and say that option is optional, so you can use it or not use it. So like that.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, yeah. And I guess talking about connecting events, to me, that's still the main item. I hope we can get done for the next release of CD events. But yeah, we'll definitely hope to see a new release happening this year. So.
Great.
Yeah. I need to do my review as well. All right. Yeah, maybe going back to that, what we were discussing last time with Ben and you, Emil, that's it could be useful to have a different schedule for our meetings. So maybe we can meet more frequently and make more progress. So the current currently we have just to summarize, we have 2 CD events meeting, which together they give us like a weekly cadence, but alternating. So one is APAC friendly, APAC EU friendly, and the other one is more like US Americas / EU friendly. And then on top of that, we have this slot that we're using today for CD events, that is typically the SIG Events meeting. but because we had very low attendance on the APAC meetings, so and we would like also to meet more often on the EMEA America one. So we were thinking we could then change the APAC meetings to be like a monthly occurrence, and we'd only do it if there is like an agenda and an interest from someone to join. And then we moved the EMEA meeting to a weekly cadence, and so it would be 1 week on the Monday in this time slot, and the other week on the Tuesday, like it was before, so no change there. And then the SIG Events meeting would stay the same time and day, but just kind of shift 1 week so that it doesn't conflict with the SIG Events, if it makes sense. And we also discussed, we were chatting about with Emil that we could also reduce the frequency of that one to be monthly. I think it's bi-weekly now, and so we could reduce it to monthly. We can always restore it to bi-weekly if we get more topics for discussion.
Yeah. And I think there in that SIG Events meeting there should be this more general discussions on well, events in CI/CD in general. So, for example, the VSMI integrations maybe could start or continue there a bit before we maybe eventually bring them in or potentially bring them into the CD events discussion if we decide on having CD events for the VSMI use cases. But to begin with, I think those discussions are a bit broader than just CD events, at least for this moment. So I think that it makes sense to have them there, or if needed in dedicated meetings. But such kind of discussions, I think, should be there. And if we compare other event solutions or other tools that handle events, that could be discussed in the SIG events meetings as well with presentations and such. While in the CD events meetings, obviously, we should talk about the CD events protocol, its ecosystem, and the project itself, I would say.
Okay. One question I just realized, if we move this to monthly, if we have the APAC meeting every third Monday of the month, and then the SIG events every third Monday of the month, we would have the same setup we have today, with 2 meetings on the same day. So maybe we could alternate in the month those two, and say one on the third Monday of every month and the other one the first Monday of every month, or something like that.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't collide with the CD events meeting that is done every second Monday on the same time slots. Because if we say every third Monday, sometimes a month could contain 5 Mondays.
I see.
It's not just as easy as that,
Ah.
unfortunately.
So maybe instead of monthly, we could say every 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's every 4 weeks is better to say. And then say when it should start, as you said there. So I think every 4 weeks, and then when should it start?
So every 4 weeks, starting. And then 16.
So when should the APAC meeting start then? Is it the 30th
Yeah.
of October,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so then we go over the month, then we would have a city event meeting. So again, yes, CDF meeting on Monday. Then the next week, a SIG Events meeting on Monday and a city events meeting on Tuesday. And then the next week, a city event meeting on Monday. And then next week, city events, APAC meetings on Monday and city event meetings on Tuesday. Something like that.
Something
Anyway,
like
I'll
yeah.
I'll try to reflect this in
the calendar items, yeah.
On the calendar. And, yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope this works.
All right. Yeah, I hope that this works. I mean, this used to be SIG events, so it's going to be the SIG event meeting time slot, and it seems that it's convenient for you, Adam and Jalander. I think I've seen you joining this meeting more than others. But in any case, let us know if this works for you, or if you prefer a different schedule. All right. Maybe a quick view of reviews. I don't think there is anything. So we have the introduce links to city events that we need to review.
About that, the skipping test
Yeah.
case aren't finished. I think there's a discussion there in the add skip thing, right? Whether it should be a dedicated event or part of an event. I haven't yet really completed my own thoughts around that. But yeah.
But I think you had. I thought it was here, maybe not.
I think I wrote something, but it might have been outdated now, that comment. But
I don't know. I think you're right. It was in the other, maybe. Yeah, I think you had proposed. I can't find it. Yeah.
oh, okay.
It was on the issue.
Okay.
Yeah, I think exactly. So you had this comment on the issue. And I think both Dan and myself pretty much agreed. And so I think the next step that Dan proposed was that he would merge the two PRs into one and update them accordingly. So yeah, that needs to happen.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's this one to replace URL with URI. Yeah, so it has some comments. So I think 0 draft. Yeah, I don't think there has been any update since my comment. Oh yes, given. Oh, it's 0 to draft. Yeah, so I wanted to check whether you think that this versioning is fine. So basically, that the proposal is to not only introduce URI but actually remove URL. Which is a backward incompatible change. And so I guess normally that would require a new major version. But since we are still on 0 dot something, my feeling is that a new minor version would be fine here. And then once we go to 1.0, then okay.
I think that is the only way to do it now before we reach 1.0. So yeah. It's good to signal it with a minor version anyway that we had. Yeah, we need to do that, of course. But we shouldn't step the major version, obviously, because then it would be 1 dot something, which is not correct.
Yeah, okay. So then,
do you think this would introduce any problem in the SDKs if it's non-backwards compatible? And the SDK is assuming that 0 dot anything should be possible to parse using a URL parameter. It's a consumer.
I need to double check. I would tend to say should not create issues because you should use the version of the schema. No, I'm not sure. Sorry, I need to go and check. So I think if you use different version of SDKs, that's of course not a problem. But
no, I'm thinking if you use a version, if an SDK that is conformant with 0.2 specification, and then you get an event whose version is later than that, but still with the same major version. The SDK try to parse it and fail, or would it assume it could parse it but skip? Yeah. We could make a good test about it.
Yeah, I need to check. Okay. The only other thing, so the first part on the SDK, so the Java SDK, the first part of the work of generating the SDK from the schema is merged. So thanks, Jalander, for that. And I've seen that you made a part 2, which needs to be reviewed, I think.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
So is that's ready to be reviewed, right?
Yes, Andy, yeah, that's ready actually.
Okay. Cool. All right. So thanks for that. So I think that so this will be really, really good once it's merged, because then hopefully it means that we can then generate the SDK for V2, V02 and V03 relatively easily.
Yes.
Great. All right. Anything else to be discussed today? That's why we can keep it a bit shorter.
The Spinnaker integration PR, so that is, it's pending on reviews. Like there are a couple of reviews that I've got from the Spinnaker community members that I'm addressing right now. And it will be like merged once the review comments is addressed. So the PR is active now. So we are getting comments and we're planning to close that as soon as possible. Yeah.
Nice. That's great. Thanks. All right. Then if there isn't anything else, have a good rest of your day, everyone. Thanks for joining today, and see you next time.
Likewise. That's it. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.